Hi everyone, I'm Tom from Off the Record. I go by he, him pronouns.
I'm Sasha, I'm also from Off the Record and I use she, her pronouns.
We're both from the CAMS outreach team, and some of you may also know me from Cornerman. We're here today to introduce you to ABC Please, which is another DBT skill, similar to TIP, but a little bit different in the sense that TIP is something that you use in the moment when things are feeling really fizzy and a bit out of control, and this is something that you use when things are feeling a bit more level, but just to kind of keep things ticking along and you kind of thinking ahead and planning ahead, basically.
So ABC Please is another acronym. I'll go through quickly what the acronym stands for, and then we'll go into each of these skills in a little bit more detail. So A stands for accumulate positive emotions, B is about building mastery, C is planning to cope ahead of time, and then please is looking after physical illness, eating well, avoiding mood-altering drugs, alcohol and caffeine, sleeping well, and trying to get some exercise.
And now we will try and give you some examples of all of these. So, accumulate positive emotions is divided into two sections. One of them is short-term goals and the other one is long-term goals. These are things that you can do to make yourself feel better in the sort of here and now. Short-term goals are things like go for a run, cook some nice food, watch something on Netflix that you're enjoying, maybe do some yoga or some stretching or something else. And the second bit of accumulate positives is the long-term goal. So these are things that you can plan for that you will enjoy at some point in the near future. So it could be like a bike ride you want to go on, or you could make a list of the films or series on Netflix you want to watch, or some fun food to cook at the weekend.
So the B stands for build mastery, and what we mean when we say that is to practice a skill or to have a go at building mastery in something. So that could be drawing, it could be yoga, it could be cycling, it could be Jenga, anything that you could practice again and again and build mastery in would. Hello again, bit of a change of setting, we had to do a reshoot, but we're now on C. C stands for cope ahead, so coping ahead and planning for a difficult situation that you might find yourself in, or a situation where you might be nervous, is a really good way of maintaining good mental health in that situation. So for example, if you've got exams coming up, you can think about planning and preparing ahead of those exams. One way you can do that is to write yourself out a timetable, revision timetable, but again, the tip skills that we shared the other day would be a really good way of planning and preparing and coping ahead for those difficult situations. So you can practice those tip skills by adjusting your temperature and doing some intense exercise, or the breathing. You can practice those so you're ready to use those when you get to those difficult situations. Now we're on to the second half of the acronym, which is PLEASE. P stands for looking after our physical illness. So our minds and our bodies are really intertwined and interlinked, and if we're feeling physically unwell, we can also feel mentally unwell as well, and vice versa. So it's really important that we look after our physical health. So that means if you are unwell, thinking about what's going to help you. You know, if you've got a horrible cold, it's about taking your paracetamol, having a lemon sip, snuggling up in a blanket, and looking after your physical health, and in turn that will really help your mental health as well. It could also just be having a break, having a stop, and having a cup of tea if you're feeling a bit run down, and taking the time to recover. The E in The Please bit of the acronym is for eating well. So again, that is related to our physical well-being, which is really intertwined with how we feel mentally as well. So if we're eating well and looking after our physical health through a good diet, that can also have a really big impact on how we're feeling with our mental health. So it's important to eat healthily, bananas, but also if you fancy a little treat, that's fine every now and again as well, in particular to a crunchy. A stands for avoiding alcohol, drugs and caffeine as well. Often when we're not feeling very well, there might be a temptation to have more of those things or try out those things, but they're quite often depressives, which means that actually in the longer term they can make us feel lower and affect our mental health negatively. So if you're feeling a bit unsteady with your mental health, it is best to avoid those things. S stands for sleep, and getting a really good night's sleep can really help improve our mental health, and there's several things you can do to help yourself get a really good night's sleep. One thing is going to bed at the same time every night, and also trying to get up at the same time every morning, and establishing a really good bedtime routine can be great. So you can practice doing the same thing that helps you relax just before you go to sleep every night. So that could be, for example, having a nice long hot shower if that helps you relax, or there's an excellent app called Calm which will guide you through meditation, which can help you feel relaxed before you go to bed as well. Last but certainly not least is the last E, stands for exercise. Exercise is really good for mental health. It's been scientifically proven to be so, and when you really get your heart rate up and do cardio exercise, it really gets endorphins going around your body, which can really lift your mood. So if you can, try and get some exercise in. Try and find some exercise that you enjoy, and then you'll be more motivated to do it, and establishing a routine with that as well can also be really helpful. Okay, so that is the end of our ABC Please video, and we really hope you found it helpful.
Just like with tip, although these things are kind of been designed for when you're feeling a bit rough and maybe you're a bit down, it's also really helpful to think about these things when you're in a bit of better space, because that can be really helpful. Hopefully you won't have seagulls when you're doing your ABC planning. Good luck.